Hello everyone, welcome to the latest installment of the Global Underwater Explorers in-depth teaser video with myself, Nico Lurot, and joined as always by the rock star over to my left. We have Michael Menduno.
Hey, good morning, Nico. How you doing?
I'm very well, mate. How about you?
Good, very good. Yep, working hard on our new December issue. So, and I have some questions for you to start.
Naturally, of course you do. Please fire away.
Who holds the women's world record for the deepest cave dive?
Oh, Jesus. I'll be honest here. This is bad. I don't know enough noted living women divers. I'm going to take a hard pass on that one.
A hard pass? Well, then the second question is not going to help you then. Who was the previous record holder? We're down in the weeds here, I guess, right?
No. You've got me by the nads here, I'm afraid, mate.
And then the final question would be, how many women divers died trying to achieve this new record? A sad fact, but I want to interject that.
I would like to think less than 10, I would hope.
Yes, thank God. There were two, actually. We'll review those. Yeah. So let's dive into the issue. We're going to lead this month with an update, 2022 update of our holiday rebreather guide, since it is the holidays. We've added a couple new rebreathers. This year, actually, we have 28 models of rebreathers. I think it's all but one or two rebreathers on the market with all the specs. We've just added the Fathom Gemini side mount MCCR and a new entry by Scubatron called the Generic Breathing Machine, the GBM. And then we have some updates on stuff like Liberty and JJ. So
I like that name, Generic Breathing Machine. Very good.
Yeah, isn't that kind of fun? So that's story number one. Story number two, very exciting. The title is, Will an insanely great dive watch attract new divers? It's an interview with app-man Nick Hollis from Oceanic Plus. I'm actually wearing my new Apple Ultra, as you can see, with the new dive app. So, we thought we'd get some perspective on this. This is Oceanic's 50th anniversary, a long-run family-owned business that was, of course, bought up by Hewish Outdoors in 2017. So as they're celebrating their anniversary, they're releasing this first dive app on the watch. It's quite exciting. And so we talk about this and do an interview with Nick and kind of get into some of the details.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but the app, of course, doesn't make allowances for your gas intake, does it? It doesn't actually make allowances for the amount of for what you're absorbing into your body. I imagine it's just for depth and time.
No, it's so on the watch itself, the Ultra is the a gauge app, the depth app. It's called Depth and Time. But the Oceanic Plus app is actually a full-featured recreational dive computer, good to 40 meters. And the watch is water resistant to a CE standard, which is named in the article, to 100 meters. Water resistant to 100. The dive computer works to 40 meters, so it's pretty intriguing. Yeah,
that's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah. Third story up, a good one. I don't know how many people out there have heard of the book Between the Devil and the Deep. It's a book by Mark McGowan and Martin Robson, who the story is about. So Mark is one of our authors. He wrote the story about Martin. So Martin was diving in a place called Blue Lake in Russia, really remote. It's a 30-hour train ride from Moscow. So he was doing this 200-meter plus dive, so 685 feet. And upon ascent at 23 meters, he lost control of his legs and flipped upside down. So Martin returned to depth, back down to 30 meters. His symptoms sort of resolved. 10 hours later, he emerged from the lake bent. And this book is really the story of his saga, this thing that happened to him. Jeez. Ironically, 3 weeks after the book was published in the U.S., Mark Gowan, the co-author, got a bad inner ear bend on a lake, a wreck in the Great Lakes, the SS Wisconsin. So this is the story about him getting bent, right? Not Martin. So it's quite a tale. Yeah, and he's still in the process of trying to figure out what happened. Inner ear bends are mysterious creatures that we don't know. You know, we're starting to know more about. Simon Mitchell and David Goulet have a couple papers on this, which we refer to. So, yeah.
And they also have a couple of great presentations on GUE TV. Link to that above.
So next, for our wreck diving feature this month, it's Finding the Wreck of the Adam Knight. It's a really interesting story. It's about one of the GUE communities, BC Underwater Explorers, and they have teamed up with the Underwater Archaeological Society of British Columbia to find this wreck. Basically, GUE was providing the trained divers to go a little deeper. This is a 60-meter wreck, so it's a little deeper than the Under Archaeological Society. Some of their divers are certified too. So they teamed up with GUE, and it's a really interesting story about a project. And we have a companion piece called Project Divers Are We that looks at the importance of projects in GUE and the new core module, the Project Diver module.
Jawohl, it's definitely the flavor of the month at the moment, isn't it?
Yep. And we were there in High Springs last month going through this course. So it was quite interesting. Francesco Camelli has done a write-up on that. And Guy Shockey also has done a story on the importance of projects in building communities. So, yeah.
Shout out to my buddy Francesco and Guy Shockey, who I'll hopefully be seeing in March at Edge. You can sign up to that on GUE.com/events.
Edge 3.0. I know. It's going to be good. So a last piece for the holidays, we call it Teach Your Children Well. And it's a couple of book reviews. One, a new book by Captain Paul Watson, founder of Sea Shepherds, called We Are the Ocean. And it's reviewed by Amanda White, one of our original co-founders of InDepth. So that's a good one. And then we have the Girls Superpower series by Chantel Newman, who was, of course, also at the GUE conference last week. And so that's pretty cool. And so those are both good for considering for gifts for your kids if you have children and want them to be more aware of the ocean and diving and all that.
Yeah, most definitely. We actually, I think you put me in touch with him originally, didn't you? We did an interview with Captain Paul Watson on the channel about a year and a half ago. And that's on our YouTube channel. Link to that is above and down in the description below.
Yep, and we have an interview that Amanda did in InDepth, which is also linked to the story. Final, just a little mention of our art piece. It's quite interesting. We call it fibergrammetry, coral fibergrammetry, and it's an amazing artist who weaves biological shapes with yarn and macrame fiber. So anyway, you'll be able to check that out. Yeah.
Very cool. And now back to the questions, sir.
Back to the questions. So Karen Vanderever, a South African woman, just broke the world's record, 246.65 meters. That's about 109 feet. And that's in freshwater at altitude. So if you adjust that for altitude, it's equivalent to a 296 meter dive or 971 feet. Right. And she broke her old record, which she just set earlier. Was it earlier this year or late last year of 236 meters? So she added another 10 meters to her depth. And this is at Bushman's-Gat in South Africa.
I was about to ask, is it Bushman's-Gat? That was going to be my question.
So the story we have about this is from Nuno Gomes, who's also a past world record holder with Guinness. And he was Karen's cave diving instructor. So anyway. So the last record holder was a woman named Verna Van Schaik, and she set that record in 2004, and that was to 221 meters or 725 feet, and that's the equivalent of about 265 meters altitude adjusted.
I mean, fair play. That record has had some legs then, hasn't it? Wow.
Has some real legs, yep. And interestingly, her support diver was a man named Dave Shaw, which I'm sure many of our readers and listeners will remember. He died the next year in 2005 trying to recover a body in Bushman's-Gat from respiratory insufficiency. And it was caught on video. It's Simon Mitchell commenting on it. Yeah, so. But doing these kinds of dives are quite dangerous. I want to say that we lost, a little bit. We lost two female divers trying to match this record. In 2010, a French diver named Brigitte Lenoir died on closed circuit at about 200 meters, attempting a 200-meter dive. And then in 2017, a Bulgarian tech instructor named Todora Balabanova died. She was with her husband, who got badly bent, but she did not survive the dive. It was an open circuit dive to 231 meters. So these records are really fraught with risk. It's a very nuanced thing because on the one hand, why do we need records? On the other hand, it's our genetic disposition to go deeper and longer. So the question of how deep can you go is, must be answered, right?
Nope. 10 meters, pretty fish. I'm good. Thank you.
Anyway, so that's our issue for this month. It's going to be published on December 1st, Thursday, December 1st. Mm-hmm. And of course, you can find it at, drumroll, GUE.com/blog or indepth.blog. So that's it, Nico.
Guys, that's all from us. As always, if you do like our content, you can like the video, share the video with anyone who you think may be interested. Please do hit the subscribe button, and there's another video down there which you can watch right now to stay active on the channel. But that is all from us this time, guys. We will see you next month. I'm Nico Lurot. He's Michael Menduno, and we'll see you very soon.
Ciao for now.